Heavy Metal Webzine, we are here with their new album. We make it close, we make it you look, and then very soon we will comment on this. But let's start to know a bit better who we're talking with. So it's your round of presentation. We have
Magnus, lead vocal, growl vocal.
And we already talked with you.
Yeah,
but
maybe just a quick recap.
Yeah.
I'm Kristian. I play the accordion in the band, and I back up Magnus by doing the clean vocals. And I've also done a lot of the producing of the record.
Kind of translating what I'm saying with the clean vocals.
You have 2 LPs already, and the first one was in 2020, and your was debut, and it was called Lurernes Lammen, correct?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
Close enough. Lurernes Lammen. Yeah, exactly.
Which means.
Do you want to tell more about it?
Yeah, okay. Call it a lure. Do you know a lure? I'm very happy. We have here.
We do.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, we have something similar. Yeah.
This.
La Tomba del Postino.
Yes.
This
is not a lure. It's from the Bronze Age or Iron Age.
Okay.
Actually, so it didn't have this one here. It was just a long horn. Actually,
okay.
So it just means some kind of the sound from the horns.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically.
The lure is just like an old bronze horn. Yeah, like Magnus said, similar to that, but just very long and going
also used in ceremonies or something. They look like the sun. So it's also kind of a war horn and a ceremony horn.
Does that sound?
Yes,
it does sound. That's the
kind of. Yes,
Lammen. And the new one, we have it here. We talk about this and all the beautiful singles. But first of all, you make very easy to assess your music because you also write your name very often in runic, right? Like your page, you have your name written in runic.
Yeah.
So let's start with your name. What Idaslet is?
Well, in short, Idaslet, as far as I understand it, because Magnus, you're more, you know more about the northern mythology, but as far as I understand it, is that you have you have Valhalla, you know, that where all of the warriors they go when they die an honorable death, but then you have the fighting area. A slette is basically like, what would you say? It's basically like a hill or a field.
Yeah, it's a field on a hill.
Arena.
So it's.
Exactly, so you have Idasletten, so it's like that field where the warriors they go to battle each other and to train for Ragnarok.
Exactly.
And wake up every morning.
Yeah.
Because guys, if you are good metalheads and you do the right Viking things they do, may you die, we probably will all die. You may land to Valhalla, so you wake up in the morning, you fight with your friends to the last blood every day, and then you cheer together. So it's a big party after a good fight.
Yeah. It's a good mosh pit, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a good mosh pit. Yeah. That's what we want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
we don't want
keep mosh pitting at our concerts.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when somebody kills you in battle and you wake up and you say, "Where am I?" and everyone else says, "Oh, you're on the Idaslet." You can say, "Oh, I know of that because I listened to this band."
Yeah,
super cool.
Yeah, you're preparing yourself for death by listening to our album.
So yeah.
Now, something I really like about this album, and we make it close. It's already. How does it look from the cover? The cover. Sorry, I'm covering you. I'm covering myself. And on the back you have this beautiful like
our drummer here today. Yeah,
Stanuga.
Yeah.
With also the gimle. I see there is also a small gimle. The crow.
Oh yeah, the crow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
Is that a special crow? Is that Hoogie or just a crow?
It's probably just a crow because basically the album is like the front cover and the back cover is actually paintings by a famous Danish painter that we have based some of the lyrics and the thematic of the theme of the whole album is kind of based on the paintings mixed with northern mythology in some sense. I think that's maybe the short way to encapsulate the album is that you have the atmosphere from these paintings, very what would you call it, existential paintings in some sort of way, and then mixed with northern mythology and legends into one.
And this church is a real church. Is from Northern Zealand.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
correct.
there today.
Yeah, close to, yeah.
Can we say which one is that?
Yes, of course. It's Melby Kirke, the church of Melby. Yeah.
Nice.
Does it look as epic today as it does on this photo?
It's actually look very good. There's only one thing. It's the little chimney right there. It isn't there today.
Okay.
Which one?
There's no chimney.
The chimney.
Yeah, the chimney. The dome.
This one.
So there's something with the climate probably to do. So they are going into other kinds to get heat.
Probably.
And looks on a cliff. Do we have a cliff in Denmark?
Good question.
You've been here.
It's
nice to know.
It's on a small hill.
No, actually there's a normal road going past that place there. Actually.
Now, when I saw this cover, it catch me because I felt like, okay, it look a bit like Incada Venenum of Opeth. It look maybe a bit Black Sabbath, but you also have a more like Scandinavian Viking mood. And that's, I think, resume very much your music. You really like to change style and to blend things together.
Yeah.
And something, listen, your music that really blown my mind is what those guys are doing. Some very great song, Spirit Stone.
Yeah.
It was your first single, right?
Yeah.
It was the first single we released.
And then you have Baldur's Dode, that is your second single with Sophie Smith.
Yeah, from Ethereal Kingdoms. Yeah.
And then you have some other crazy song, absolutely crazy song. But now we focus on these two first.
No worries.
Talking about Spirit Stone, this is a fairly hectic and mashup song where you have death growling, witch screaming, clean voice, Viking chanting, some Gregorian chanting toward the end, and then in Baldur's Dode you also have a mezzo soprano, some lyric singing or a soprano type of singing. What the hell is going on? I mean, just resuming that Spirit Stone, you start with a bell and then an acoustic guitar arpeggio.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's true.
Then you go to melodic power metal, kind of power chords.
Yeah.
Toward black metal or death metal, because then you come in with your voice, and that's definitely death metal.
I like that part,
Except that you come in with the accordion and you turn into folk metal.
Yeah, it's true.
Now turn the page, could I remind it all? It's 4-minute song, but it's very dense. An epic, clean voice.
That's mine.
With your girl on the same time.
Yeah.
You slow down, you go almost to doom for the guitar riff.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. You come to death metal again because you have to go your part again, and then you come in with folk metal.
Yes, exactly.
We are finishing. It's 10 minutes we are talking already. And after the folk metal, clean voice with Viking chanting. Which pace band with accordion, and then finally clean voice with clean chanting that is almost Gregorian.
Yeah.
So who is the weird mind in your group? How does this mess happen?
I'm actually really happy. I'm really happy that you noticed all of these different things.
Like that, we can say we love music. We love different kind of music. We love a lot of metal. So why don't mix it up and put it all in one song?
I think it's also a matter of that, like, what's it called? Sort of like we know we what would you call it? We work with each other. It's like we have our guitarist Victor, who maybe writes he has written most of the songs, like in terms of like the main riffs and such like that. But we're in some sense we're very open to, if Magnus likes something, he will just ask, "Can't we put this in?" And maybe I will say, "This doesn't fit. We can't put it in." But then Magnus says, "Can't we make it fit?" And then we try to make it fit, and then we end up having something that actually fits together. But we have had many great reviews for this album. Many people like it, and we have had one review for like actually the first album, but it's kind of the same point. They said that one of the things they didn't like about the music was that it jumped too much into different lanes. Like, oh, first you would be in this mood, then you would be in this mood, then you would be in this mood. But we actually feel like that is a strength of our music, because we feel like we tie it together, and we feel like that it has nice variation to it.
And I love it because it's cohesive in a way. I mean, all this album, it really feels your music. It doesn't feel like one song was written like that, the other was like the other. They are all crazy, but they are crazy with a mood. So they're actually great. I really dig it, and that's why we are here today. I mean, so we have a bunch of death metal in Scandinavia. We countless. We have a bunch of folk metal, especially toward Finland.
Yeah.
But these things really add something to that. And you also anticipated my next question, which was, how do you come up with this composition? Like, do you study that and you try to balance it, or it's like an improvisation that happens while you play together?
I think it comes from, like, in some sort of sense, I think it actually comes from the instruments, like the nature of the instruments, because for this album what we did a lot was our lead guitarist Victor, he would be making a riff that had a lot of different variation to it, a lot of chromatic stuff, and me sitting as the accordion player was like, I cannot play anything over this. I cannot play this on the accordion. It's gonna sound horrible. Okay, so while he plays something very chromatic and very heavy and what's it called, like very evil, I will have to make something that can sit on top of that as like something steady. So while everything he does is doing like this, I just make like flat chords to, in some sort of sense, keep the accompaniment. So in some sense, just like Magnus's vocal contra mine, the guitar work contra the accordion work, like kind of has like an evil, good, like a contrast between each other.
I mean, it's the witch scream and the Gregorian.
Maybe so. Yeah, exactly.
And it works very well because every song it have a tune that you can recognize as a bass, and then you play over that or you build over that in different passages. You go slower, you go faster, you go heavier, you go lighter. But you can tell that song is that song, and it's not just
a copy of the other.
Whatever happens in the room, like there is a plan at least underlying them. What was the band that make explode your mind when you discover it and throw you into metal?
Oh shit! When you
were a young guy.
Yeah, when I was a young guy and I got into metal, like it must have been Rhapsody of Fire.
Whoa!
Yeah, exactly. With
also the Italian Rhapsody of Fire.
Rhapsody,
also because I loved I play piano. That was my first instrument, piano, and I just loved watching Alex Staropoli, with his keyboard and his big muscles and such like that. And I listened a lot to them in the beginning, and I loved them because of the, how do you explain it? Just the epic feeling from listening to their music. It's kind of like everyone says epic. How do you explain what epic is? I don't know, but it's like the feeling of like something higher and something majestic. I love that that sound. So a lot of the bands I listened to after, I listened to a lot of different music, but in that period, a lot I listened to was Rhapsody of Fire, and which made me look into Blind Guardian and such like that. And then maybe the accordion work came from Korpiklani or Weird Al Yankovic or something like that, right?
But that's not important. Then you also find your style, right, on the way. But Rhapsody of Fire, we're an Italian webzine, so maybe they will find you out. Go and fetch them. They're great, and maybe do something together at a certain point.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
What about you? Now we get to Scandinavia, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is Scandinavia. I can say I kind of grew up with Rammstein, actually, so I have listened to that since I was a child. But I also hear a lot of other kind of music. I listen to Gago Bordello, who was more gypsy punk. So that's where the accordion probably come from.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's not metal. But still, I was so fascinated that they use these kind of instruments in new time music.
Yeah, well, they're great.
Real great. It was just when I was a teen, I hear Sabaton for the first time, and it was so much me. I was an ex-military dude, so I thought it was cool, all this military stuff to sing about, and a lot of history, and it was power, it was epic, and that was for me. And then I later get into the Viking culture with Amon Amarth, and later also Kopiklani, and find the Danish edition, Svartsod, and also a big fan of them. So yeah. So
and it makes a lot of sense. Actually, today it's not a case, but when you said Sabaton, it's all the day I was thinking about Primus Victoria that he was running in my head all the time.
The first song I hear, yeah. So
we actually used that, like, yeah. Me and
Great concert.
We used like maybe 15 years ago when we weren't so good at playing music. Me and Magnus would sit together and actually play like Sabaton together.
Yeah.
Also, Primus
we also
Victoria.
met the day we met, the day after we took in and saw Sabaton and Elstorm in
Oh damn! That was a
over 10 years
fucking
ago,
amazing concert.
Yeah, that was amazing. So yeah,
concert.
we know we should play in a band.
That's how it happened. So what happened, your collaboration with Sophie Smith, because then you have Baldersdorf, that is your other single, and you start with her singing the piano the piano music, and it's an absolutely great song. Actually, that was the song that really make me discover you in a way, because I was so blown away by that single. How did it happen, the collaboration, and how did it went, the collaboration with her?
Do you remember how?
I remember it was
with...
from the first time, from our first EP. She's also a part of that one.
She did the choir on it.
Yeah, she did the choir. And I just remember you sit here, and we found out what you should sing, and you was just la da da da. I can raise this tone. I can't get up there. Maybe we should get Sophia to do that. I know her. She can really come high up. So.
I guess it was just an idea to
include
just
her,
an idea
to you really want to hit that tone.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
So yeah, and it's just nice to work with, and
she is. It's
also very good singer, and we just kind of feel we should really use her some more, because
so the inception of this song was based on your idea, and then you needed some higher tones, and that's where she came in. Of course, she did a bit of her magic. She wanted to change here and there, because that's always happened, right?
Yeah.
But I think for Baldersdød for Baldersdød in particular, like I think we in some sense wanted to do something different, because I can do that vocal, but I will do it down in It's like, okay, you can hear me singing deep, and I'm a tenor. It doesn't make so much sense. And I feel like Sophia, she also has a background in theater, right? Yeah. So she is really fucking good at like interpreting stuff, and she's really easy to work with. I can play the piano. She can look at the sheet music and just do it. Yeah. So it was an easy collaboration which what's it called, creatively, theatrically, was just really great.
It was one take. It was really easy. I saw when you tried it the first time here, and it just that was what I actually expected or what I wanted. So we will go with that. Great.
And for the 6 million people who doesn't understand, for the non-6 million people who doesn't understand what he just sang, it was The Stars Are Crying.
Yeah.
It's
true.
That's how start Baldersdød. And you actually sing in Danish.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not the most accessible language. So let's talk about the thematic of this album, and maybe let's pick one or two songs that you feel attached in the lyrics, and tell us what it's all about, or what is the background of that.
Oh yeah.
So who want to cover the album as
I think you
a panorama?
I think you should do that, Magnus.
Yeah, I can do it. So I don't know, is there anyone you're interested in? You can just check out the menu card here.
Yeah, this is the menu card. Which is the thematic of this album in a way, or which was the idea inspiring this work? Do you have a theme, or it's just free song that was?
It is a free song. I can say something about the folk metal is from our last album. It's what kind of old song is folk songs, also traditional folk song is we are telling a story, and And this album, we're not gonna do that. It's more like a poem. It's just
a collection.
So
Yeah,
it's
collection of
separate
freestyling.
pieces.
Yeah.
You don't
so
have
we're
a
not
running
telling
story
a king story or a hero story or a magic sports story. This is just more like reading a poem, actually. So, yeah, I don't know where we should start. We can start from
Just pick one that you like.
All right, which one do we like the most?
Just pick which one.
Or
you
just
like.
as a lyric. You don't have your
them.
favorite. We are not gonna ask you to choose between your children, but you know,
It's actually a little bit
we won't
like
kill the other children if you choose you're not your favorite one.
which one? What will be a good one to start with here? Because Spears Tone, Sagens Kor, Igor Sagt, they are all all about the church, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the choir from the church, and Igor Sagt is at the graveyard. The church, and Spears Tone, it's from
The Tone of the Tower.
yeah, the tower of the church, exactly.
So you're actually not as pagan as I thought.
Sorry?
You are not as pagan as I thought. You like church singing and Protestant today.
If you
maybe
can,
Catholic.
it's kind of like if
Also
you have
here.
the if you have
It's not on
the
fire.
No, exactly. There's no fire. It's not.
No, it's true.
Friends of,
we can help a little bit because we have all the lyrics right here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So,
But it's also with our music, you can kind of say like if the church is the asshole and the Viking stuff is like the cock, like then you have like the meat in between, and that's kind of like where our album is like. Because of course a lot of the songs are about church and some of the songs are about Viking legends and such, but it is that also the historical mix.
Yeah.
Because historically also there was a period from Denmark where it went from Viking age to Christianity and such, and in some sense we have in some sort of sense encapsulated the spirit of that period in that album, I would say so.
I mean, in a way, Viking has been for most of their history Christian. Maybe not very good Christian in the way we intend them today, but you know, if you forget the actions, they were Christian for most of their history.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now it's your turn. Do you want to get a peek to?
Yeah.
actually,
He had
sitting here
3
that
peaks,
we
so
should
it's already-
should choose one or say one.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I
Don't
mean,
know,
I
you
think it's
feel like you have-
just for each of us. I have my own.
Yeah, you.
or maybe you can just choose a part of a song you want to translate and comment for us, because maybe you feel like, I think that thing is crazy good.
I think there is one passage and one song that I really enjoy. So like, basically, as Magnus said, like all of the songs they have like what's it called? In some sense, different stories, but I feel like that there is a thematic that is like keeping them together. And the 5th song on the album, which is called Igor Sagte, so it's basically like it's about graveyard and such. So it's very existential in some sort of way. And probably my favorite line from that song is that it says that in the I højen, it's kind of like in the hill, you know, in Viking age there would be Viking graves. They're like hills with a stone on top.
Yeah.
So it said that in the hill I saw my seat, but under the cross I was placed, which I just think is such an epic and such a strong statement and such, like the whole idea about you die and somebody else takes away the choice for you and places you somewhere, like the whole melancholic, existential, negative image, and then combined with like a critique to the church, just a small critique to the church in some sort of sense. I just think that's like a really great atmosphere that it adds to the album. So I enjoy Gården Sagte a lot. I feel like Gården Sagte encapsulates the whole album.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And let's also, I mean, it's very almost goth. It's very metal. Almost this romantic goth as a vision, and still you have these Viking vibes. So again, is folk Viking in many parts, but it still have this very existential, very Scandinavian type of mood to that.
Yeah.
So
we have a new pick.
Yeah, I can take a note of you. One of the reason I haven't picked one right now is because I also try to find some old Danish words, so I don't know actually what the English translating of that word is. So it's a little bit hard.
Well, I mean,
so,
declare it in Danish.
Yeah, I
so
can
read us the poem, and then we try to figure it out.
Okay, I will take afdøbt, whose other means not baptized anymore.
Yeah,
Actually, afdøbt is a word.
Unbaptized.
Unbaptized, yeah, unbaptized. The word afdøbt doesn't exist in Danish. Actually, it's just a word made by myself because I wondered.
Oh, okay.
I'm not I'm confirmated and baptized and all that stuff, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
And there was no ritual or anything, no ceremony for that.
Yeah.
So I just wondered, what will that be actually to be not baptized anymore? Is there anything?
Yeah.
But there isn't.
Yeah, exactly. And
only
we didn't
ritual
know we
that
were
just
getting
to-
into metal at that time, so it was not
Yeah.
our fault.
yeah, that's what happened. So
what
the
happens
only
before.
ritual was just I'm not go into the computer and say I don't want to pay taxes anymore to the church actually.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's why we
could,
have a church now. So yeah, sorry, kind of.
but that is already paid.
yeah, that's already paid.
Your grandparents or for them probably were.
Yeah, I can take the first line here in afdøbt. Jeg begærer vandet fra den dybeste brønd. Jeg modtog korset fra den helligste hånd. Jeg bærer æren i mit hjerte, bærer hammeren i mit sind. So, how to translate that one in English was I like the water from the deepest well. Yeah, there's a lot of wells in Nordic mythology. Probably the eye where the well where the eye of Odin is
the well
placed.
of Mjolnir, or
Yes, I
received.
I received the cross from the holiest hand.
Mm-hmm.
I wearing the honor in my heart. I wearing the hammer in my mind.
So the Thor hammer.
Yeah.
Thor.
That's probably the Thor hammer. Yeah.
The Thor hammer.
A little
It's not just a
more,
carpenter
heathen
like
thing.
another.
Yeah.
It's that carpenter.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think there is also there is a really cool small Easter egg that you have told me about, Magnus. Like that, I'm not sure if I will do it correctly, but I'll try because this is what I'm saying now is based on the titles of the song. So you have after sundown. So you have like the weather here, you could say, and then you have honor or death. Of course, that's something with Valkyries. You have like in the high, like over in heaven in some sense. Then you say the tone of the church tower.
Yeah.
So you go here. The next one is like the choir of the hall. So now you're here.
Yeah.
What's it called? In the graveyard, it's set. I guess you can translate it too. So we have like the graveyard and all of the underground. Afdøbt, which is something with a well. Yeah, let's just skip that. And Kæmpens 9 spørgsmål, the questions from the giant. The whole song starts out with, I was out walking and I met this devil. So now we're like over here.
Yeah.
And then of course you have Ragnarok where everything ends. So in some sort of sense, if you
And
have
you
a
have,
good...
I see also some skeletons or some
Yeah,
burial on
exactly.
the bottom.
There is
It's
an-
very thin. You have to buy the disc to see it. But there is like a water painting of very thin red corpses in the bottom. So I understand that basically you have a narrative going
Yeah, there is
there
some
is,
sort of
uh,
narrative following
I have
down.
there we can see some of it here. It's the road of the life road here actually. The painter Eli Rang, he collected some of his picture. He had the picture of just the church, and then of the mummies from Italy, and this road here is Kalamborvejen actually. He then it's in the full scale picture. It's a little bit more to see, but it looks like tombstones along the road.
yeah.
So it's
So we have a story in this
yeah, so
cover.
there is kind of
we go
it's,
from the sky with your songs to the church bell, to the church tower, to the engraving to hell, and then to
that kind of
Idaslet,
concept.
Valhalla, and
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So it sort of fits all
Amazing.
together, right?
Yeah, it fits all. So it was what the artist Elaring he did. He did fits some of his.
You want to mention the artist? We want to promote also the artist.
Yes, of course, Elaring.
He's dead, but let's do it.
Okay, that's artist, the one who did. Okay, fair enough.
And,
but let's mention him. I mean, you never know that you have a YouTube channel or
But
something. Or a Pinterest channel.
the painter is L.A. Rang, which I don't know a lot about where he's from. But I think it's interesting with the album cover because he painted this album cover, and the title "Nu skrider dagen under" is also a phrase from an old song. The song came before the painting he did, right?
Yeah.
So he has heard this old traditional song from guards that were like guarding and patrolling.
Yeah, before the police. Yeah.
Before the police, and then he heard that phrase "Nu skrider dagen under" og natten vælger ud.
Yeah.
Oh, how to translate that now?
That now is coming the night.
Yeah, now it's
Now it's
coming.
coming
the
the night.
day
Now
is
the
ending and
day
the
is
night
getting
will,
over in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The day is ending and the night falls out, and exactly. So and that is also what we sing in the song "I går sagte" for the chorus. That's why I feel it encapsulates it very well. So he apparently really liked that phrase, and his whole painting is based on that phrase from those patrollers. And now we have made an album, so in some sense we are a link in like a historical, creative collaboration.
Also, in the start here, it's called Efter Solnedgang. It was also a second name for this picture here.
Like a subtitle.
We have we are a fan of him. We are listening to Frode Vedinge, also a Danish artist, who is singing the same verse actually. Du skrider dagen under og natten vælger ud.
Yeah.
And we also give him a little long turn, so it sounds like he's an Vector.
Yeah.
But I really love also this historical dimension that you have. You do folk metal, but you don't just sing about the Viking kind of battle. As other folk band, you don't sing about drinking beer together. You also really have this artwork and this imaginary. Also for Baldur's Door, you have a very beautiful picture. I think it was a Roman looking like. Or probably was a Renaissance. A picture of Roman because they wear their dress. They were there depicted. It's definitely Renaissance or like 18,000 or the revival of the Roman age.
Yeah,
like the romantic revival of that.
Really like
so
Romans.
it really feels like you have a cohesive team, and you really look back to the romantic age, to the dam, like the chant of the graveyard of Wordsworth or Baudelaire or all these gloom, and also a bit Victorian type of link with the Viking song. So it actually really opened up much the theme, and that's also come to one of my questions. Like doing Viking metal today, there's so many bands in Scandinavia that do Viking metal. You go in Finland, you can shovel them in your bag, basically. But your music is still not like so many of those Viking bands. You still have that extra catch. So how do you feel that this album or your music is fitting Denmark today or Scandinavia today within the folk frame, at least?
Personally, I think that our music fits in the folk metal because of, like, in some sense, a little bit the aesthetic of the clothing that we wear and how the melodies are put together and the thematics of the song, including the religious, or what would you say, like the mythologies and such like that. But personally, I think we differentiate from folk metal bands in the way we compose songs.
Yeah,
if you would say it
exactly.
like that. That's
you don't
exactly
have
right.
such a strict or like textbook type of progression.
Exactly, because when I hear folk metal a lot today, it's like, okay, let's first make a melody. So they say ba da 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 ba da 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 da, and then it's like, okay, let's do that melody again, but now with guitars. Now maybe there comes a verse. Now comes the chorus with the same melody, but now we're singing it. Now comes a bridge. And then comes the chorus. Like, it's in some sense it's very centered around the melody, and it's in some sense like pop or very strict.
Exactly.
And our music, I would say, is very experimental. Why we like, okay, let's take down all of a sudden in the middle of the song we change tonality, or we lower the speed of the song, or now there's going to be clean vocals, now there's a choir, now there's ground vocal. We're very experimental in that sense.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, many of your songs, you actually don't have canonical composition, and that's why I was asking you if it's some type of improvisation or something you study. Because for me, and the parallelism with Opeth, for example, it really comes when you see the complexity and the freedom you use in your composition. You are not afraid to put a solo early on, or to not put a solo at all, or to put a solo after a break, which is very, very interesting, honestly. So now, if we do a ritual here, like not maybe a satanic one because you're not exactly on that things, but let's say that we resurrect from the grave either a poet or a musician or someone you would like to write you a song or play a song with you. Who could it be for you?
Oh damn, that's a really good question. That's a really good question.
Also a poetry things don't have, or you can go for Edgar Allan Poe since you already have the Raven.
I think if I could choose to do a music project with somebody who is dead, I would do it with Dante Alighieri, him writing the lyrics, because the Divine Comedy is just the fucking most epic book in the world. Like, I mean, I read the entire thing in a Danish translation that was made, maybe not direct translation, but they translated it so it would still rhyme in Danish, and that book was amazing, and I loved that whole story.
Sure,
I know.
it makes more metal.
Do you have a favorite character? Because I mean, of that book, many people really love a character. Like a friend of mine is very fond of Contogol. You know, this guy just chewing on the
ninth
on the head of.
Personally, I actually didn't. I'm not from Italy or know Italian history, so I didn't know so many of the like different politicians and such like that. But I loved one of my favorite things from the books is like the second book where they're getting all the peas. What's it called in their
Purgatorium?
Like in their forehead, like they get engraved the peas, which I don't. I think it means sin in Italian, but I don't remember what the words is.
It is Purgatorium. It means Purgatoribus. It's
like a penitent.
Ora pro nobis purgatorium, and it just means pray for our sins. So
Now, this is the most embarrassing moment. I have to admit, I didn't study enough the Purgatorium. I was stuck to hell and not all of that, and then Paradise I completely put it aside. So you probably know better than me. But that's actually super cool.
It's a fucking cool set of books.
Help me with my ignorance. Comment on that. Please help me to figure it out what the story is.
We both can the whole...
I had to read it all, but badly.
Divine Comedy, actually. I also write it. But I think if I should choose someone, I actually think I will find a dead Viking who could play at some of the instruments. Because every time we just show our music, there's always this dude who had read something from a colon or something from a history magazine or something, and now I know the whole history about the Viking Age, and I figured just out there is no melodica in the Viking Age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like there's no keyboards or electric guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah, so maybe they just like very simple, very quiet music. I mean,
so it's actually just be what was music back in the time. What did it actually sound like, and what did they like to actually hear? Because we don't know that much about actually that time actually.
But I mean, we are the new romantic in that sense. Like we see the Viking legacy, and we pick the heroes of that and the battle and the excitement, and we turn it into this very heroic, fast, powerful music to depict what we admire of them.
Yeah,
but maybe they were just like farmers that enjoy life and then go to battle and kill each other because that was the use. And maybe they just greatly appreciate, to have some storytelling in.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe they were bodega people as they are today.
It's true. Yeah, it could be many
they
things.
Like to dance on something like gasoline or something very
ritual. What it could be.
But I think it's a good idea. Like when we have the technology for it, we'll revive Dante Alighieri and some random Viking, and then we'll put them in a room together with us and say, okay, you guys need to work. Like
now you've at me. It is. And then they come out with 3 books. Now you have to sing this.
Yes,
do it.
New album.
And do it well, because I mean, Dante Alighieri probably they have very good singers, sculpture artists, and much was going on there.
Maybe
So
Because
you probably have a nice standard, guys.
Yeah, I could
I
imagine
think
so.
some of the only thing we know about actually the music from the Viking age, it was the Rus Vikings. It was Eben, the Turkish Osmanian dude who lived with the Vikings, Rus Vikings in Kiev, and he just said like it sounds like they was just screaming of the moon or something like that.
Yeah,
Just
but I
the
mean-
chanting of the drum.
Yeah, it was when they were singing or something. It was
Yeah,
like,
but,
woo,
but,
woo, woo.
but,
So-
but even then, it's like, imagine that I go to another band that I don't like, and then I come back to my friends and I say, oh yeah, they sounded like shit. Everyone can do that,
Exactly.
right?
It sounds like a person who's farting. Yeah.
But it is one of the only records we have of what the music was like.
So we're not gonna base our music of that.
But I mean, so let's also be kind with ourselves and be forgiving. I mean, you like different things in music. You can like different aspects, and people may not like the same aspect.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly fine to say, feels good for me, doesn't feel good for him. There's no
it's
offense
true.
for
Yes,
anybody.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
But I mean, so when you give depth and when you get out with so much idea, it's difficult not to appreciate that because you're really bringing something to the plot here, and something that is not obvious in the music until you don't notice this small Easter egg.
It's true, yeah, you're right.
And that's the narrative that we like to tell to our listener and the people who will read of you, that there's really something there.
Yeah.
Now,
It's true.
I think we are getting a bit tired, but if there is something that I didn't ask you, or if there's something you would like to cover that maybe I've been leaving out.
Magnus, he touched a little bit upon it, but like in terms of like what music got us started, like me and Magnus have been friends for a long time, and one of the things was that like one of the things that got me a lot into folk music and Scandinavian folk music was an old man called Frode Vedinge, who has been...
You have to write me a message for his name. I
Yeah,
will put
okay.
it on the website.
He's-
Also, we have him right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
He's,
we
of
have
course,
it,
right here is
yeah.
the Polveding.
He still lives today. He lives now in Spain. Turns out he was like kind of a troubadour type in Denmark.
Oh.
Played a lot in Kristiania. So me and Magnus, we loved his music because he has the voice of a wizard. If you imagine Gandalf from Lord of the Rings starting to do music, like he has an amazing voice, and we both had that as a huge inspiration. So what we did was that he sings in the beginning, like in the intro of the album, and he sings on the end of I går sagte. What we did was...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But how we got him to do it was... I became 30 years old, and for my birthday I was like, I'm not gonna spend money on food and all. I'm gonna find this guy and I'm gonna fly him. I paid for his ticket from Spain to fly him to my birthday. And when he came to my birthday, we said, hey, because he was singing a concert, so I paid him for the concert and the ticket. And afterwards we said like, hey, we know you have just been doing the concert. Would you like to be on our album? Do you mind if we just go inside this room and record your vocals?
Yeah.
You just have to sing this thing. And then he sung something, we tailored it a little bit together, and then we actually he has both, maybe, I think it's fair for me to say that both me and Magnus has had him as a music idol.
Yeah.
So we were really stoked to
Indeed.
have him on the fucking album. Like,
And also, this one, Kæmpe
Kæmpe
Snigspørgsmål. Yes.
it's the 9 questions of the giant.
9 Giants of the Giant. We really want to make a cover of the song he was
It's
singing.
actually true, yeah.
Yeah.
It is like
so that's his song.
no, it's like a historic song, like
So
kind
the
of
giant-
traditional.
okay,
asking
didn't-
Christian's questions actually, and he
Yeah.
is answering me a clean vocal.
But
at the song.
So now you're touring, or you are doing concert?
Yes, we're
we're going
stuff?
on tour
Will you also
soon.
tour outside Denmark? Will we see you maybe in Italy sometime?
I fucking wish for that, but right now the most of the
me
people
too.
from the outside that listen to our music is people from America and people from England, and then actually also Germany. So we're a little bit talking with those people, but we don't have anything confirmed
Yeah.
yet. So again, if people in Italy starts listening to it, I would love going to Italy.
Also-
I have not been in Florence, Firenze, but I've been in what's it called, Milano. I loved that place, so I would love to go back.
But you should go around Florence and look the places of Dante and the churches and those engraving inside the church where people were fighting to have a spot of a church
Wow.
floor.
Okay,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to see that.
You will see so many decadent and goth going on there.
We should do that.
Just
Yeah.
find the right guide to send you around Florence and discover the beautiful things about that. Because you will get lost, but with the right guide, it will be awesome. If someone is listening
If
invite them to Florence, bring them to Florence.
We also
show them
want
getting plays.
Cecilia.
And Sicily for the mummies.
Yeah,
There's
Sicily.
mummies in Sicily.
Yeah, it's actually the Bony Boys is in the bottom is from Sicilia.
Guys, they are calling for you.
Yeah, we're calling.
Ragazzi in Italia, vi chiamano. Invitateli, fategli vedere i vostri cimiteri, portateli nei posti più spaventosi e più decadenti e più metal che abbiamo in Italia.
Yeah,
What he said.
Yeah,
What he said.
I agreed.
What he said, yes.
Whoa. And in the end of the tour, when you will be famous and all the things, you will have the grow all in Kristiania. You will call back your friend and you will do together the song as you always desire. Well, we do our gimmick moment. And now for our That's How It Ends gimmick moment, we will have a very, very special moment. We will have Idaslet that will translate and improvise for us in English a verse of Campers Ni Språngsmål, which is the 9th question of the Giant, one of their most iconic songs in this album. So I'll now turn the camera to them and I'll let them give you this improvisation just for us.
So this is gonna rhyme very well in English. That's so lucky. So let's try it. So we just pick one word here. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Yes. And tell me, what is the widest bridge where under the fish can swim in peace? What is covering the ground with that cloth? And where does a dead man find his seat? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, ice, it's probably the widest of bridge, where under the fishes they can sleep in peace. The snow covers the earth with a cloth. Oh, then comes the difficult part. In the grave, a dead man finds his seat.
Whoa! I don't have a breath to throw
Something
you.
like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It's actually very difficult to translate these things while singing, yeah. But yeah, it's something like that.
So here you,
now in
nice north
Italian.
man, what I will tell you, 9 questions you have answered here from me, and not the death you will receive, but it will go your wealth in your days. That was a little
Like
extra,
that.
yeah, a
That's
little
true.
bit extra here, yeah.
Amazing, absolutely amazing, people.
Thank you. We're also
I think we cannot cross
Stefano.
better than this. Thank you
practicing
so
a long
much.
time.
Let's do it like that. Cool. Thank you so much, Stefano.
Yeah, thank you,
Again,
thank you.
we're Idaslet from Copenhagen, and again, check out our music. We're on the different platforms. Look at our album, buy it if you want. That would be fucking nice. Thank you so much, Stefano, for
here
having us
online.
on your show here. That's fucking great. And just again for Frode Vedinge, our big inspiration. If you want to hear what we have found as inspiration for the Giants 9 questions, Kæmpen 9 spørgsmål, check out Frode Vedinge. He's a great old man, and he is underappreciated.
And here the old album, Luren is Slammen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Stay heavy.